In this session, we are going to learn how to install Python and Playwright on our Windows machine. Before we jump into the installation, there has a minimum requirement provided by the Playwright that we have to see before downloading and installing the Python. And also we'll be going to check whether the Python is already been installed on your machine and what is the version of it. If the Python is not installed on your machine, well and good, we'll be going ahead to the Python official website to download the latest Python version, and then we'll be proceeding ahead with installation of the Python. And post installation, we'll also be gonna verify Python is properly installed or not, and we'll look into what is this pip and how it will be helpful for throughout this installation. We'll also gonna learn about virtual environment, and we'll practically create one virtual environment and understand how it will be useful and helpful in the real-time projects. Since Playwright is built on the Node.js, so do we really require to install the Node.js before we install the Python to work with the Playwright? And after this discussion, we will install the Playwright and verify whether the Playwright is properly installed it or not. And obviously we need to have one IDE, that is integrated development environment, to implement all our test case and the codes for the automation. And at last we will configure the VS Code because we need some plugins to work with, so that we will configure and we'll be ready with the environment. Let's see what is the minimum requirement to install Playwright. According to the Playwright documentation, they have given some prerequisite. If you go and visit their official website, that is playwright.dev. Since we are working with the Python, I will select the Python here. Once you select your language, desired language, you need to click on the documentation page. There they have given and prepared well documentation for installation and as well as how to work with the locators. So as they have mentioned, as a system requirement, we must have to have Python 3.8 version to be installed on our system. Minimum, this is minimum 3.8. If your Python version is more than 3.8, would also work fine, but it should not be lesser than 3.7. If you have Python installed which is lesser than 3.8, I recommend you to go and download the latest Python version. And while working with the Playwright, you have to choose the higher version of the Python interpreter in your IDE so that you can work seamlessly without any disruptions. If you are having a Windows machine, make sure your OS should be 11 or later. For the servers, Windows Server 2019 would be recommended. If you are a Mac user, the Mac OS should be 14 Ventura or later version, and also they have given for Debian and Ubuntu as 22 and 24, and for Debian 12 and 13 version. And it also works both 32-bit operating system and as well as 64-bit operating system. If you guys don't know how to check and what is your operating system bit size, you just have to click on the File Explorer, and once it is open, scroll down a bit and right click on this PC and go to the properties. So as you can see, my operating system is 64-bit operating system. So whatever executable files that I'm going to download for my system, that will remain 64-bit operating system. If your system is having a 32-bit operating system, then accordingly you have to download your executable files. And also we required a minimum 4 GB of RAM. I have already 32 GB of RAM installed on my machine, so we satisfied all their minimum requirement, so we are good to go with downloading the Python. So having said that in the agenda, and this is the topic that I just wanted to give you a heads up here. Do we really require the Node.js to be installed on our local machine working with the Python? The answer is no, because the Node.js is required whenever you work with TypeScript or JavaScript. Node.js is an application which comes with the dependencies, and it comes with the bundles of packages wherein the Node Package Manager, that is NPM, which help you to import any dependencies or the libraries. If you're working with the Python, there is another package module called pip that will be comes by default when you install the Python. So here, working with the Python, you do not require to install the Node.js. For working with Java, you need a prerequisite as a JDK. So JDK or SDK, I'm not so sure, but yeah. So based on the different programming language, it requires a different approach to be followed. So the conclusion here is working with the Playwright with Python, the Node.js is not required. If you install the Python, that itself is sufficient to work with. And as I mentioned, with Python, automatically pip will be get installed using the pip you can install any of the libraries on top of it. So now let's see whether the Python is already there in your system or not. To check that, click on Windows button and type cmd or command prompt and hit enter. The command prompt will be open in front of you. You can open the command prompt or PowerShell, anything would also be fine. Once the terminal is open, you just have to type python version. If you see this message, then the Python is not installed on your machine. So you have to go and download the Python from their official website. But if you have already Python installed, then you might get this kind of message like Python and some version will be displayed here. So it means that you have the Python installed in your machine, but this is 3.10 or 3.14, whatever it may. But as you guys remember, like Playwright requires minimum 3.18 or greater than 3.18 version of the Python. So in that case also you have to go to their official website and download the Python. So I'll be going to Google to download the Python. In the search bar type Python download and hit enter. So you will see this python.org is an official website. Click on that first link. It will redirect you to that official Python website. From here, just click on the download. If you are a Windows user, click on Windows, or if you are a Mac user, click on this Mac tab and select the binary from here. So since I am a Windows user, so I'll be clicking on this Windows. And as you guys also remember that I have 64-bit operating system of the Windows, so I'll be clicking here. So current version of the Python is 3.14, and what they have given, the minimum requirement of the Playwright, it should be, I forgot guys, let me go back and cross check again. 3.8. Sorry, I mentioned it wrong earlier, so it should be 3.8, and I had given an example of 3.10. So if you have a 3.10, that would be great. If you have the Python already installed which is lesser than 3.8, which is 3.7.1 or something like that, you have to download the latest version of your Python. So I'll be going back to again a Python official website since I have 64-bit operating system. So I'll be clicking on this download link. So you can see now the download has been started here. So it will take a while. Cool. My Python is now got successfully downloaded. I will click on this folder to open the executable file. Once you get this file, so just double click on this. It will pop up one window. So you can see like this one window will be appeared. And if you want to go with the default installation path, so simply you click on this tab. If you are installing freshly, then I would highly recommend you to click on this checkbox and go with the default path. So as you can see now installation has been started. With this only I have mentioned the pip, that is Python installer package, will also be get installed by default. You need not to download it separately and install after the Python installation. During the Python installation itself, it will automatically taken care that make sure that pip is also installed on your machine. These are the libraries and dependencies that by default the Python installation setup will be taken care of. And here it is 64-bit. Since my operating system is 64-bit, so it has, see, as you can see here the pip is shown here. So pip is also by default installed while installing the Python itself. We have few more seconds or a minute to go to complete this entire Python setup installation. So using this pip only, we can import any libraries that pip install and the package name if you give, now automatically the package will be imported on your system. Yeah, all right. So Python is successfully installed now. I will close this window. And once the installation is completed, you just close the existing opened terminal, because if you give that Python hyphen version, that will not be recognized, because you need to restart the terminal once Python is installed, and again hit the CMD to open the terminal. And once the terminal is open, now you can type Python hyphen version, so it will give you the Python version. See, as you can see, so 3.13.9 is my Python version, which is higher version of Python Playwright, what they have mentioned here, 3.8. So yeah, so Python is successfully installed on our local machine. Now we will go and download the Visual Studio Code for our Windows machine to implement the code. To download that VS Code, you need to go to this website, code.visualstudio.com/download. Here you can see different executable files for different operating system platform. If you are a Ubuntu users or Debian user, click on this links to download the executable files, and then you can proceed with the installation. Similarly for Mac users, here they have given a zip file link based on the different chipset. If you are an Intel chipset user, then click on this link and download the zip, unzip it and install it. And if you are a Apple Silicon M3 M4 chipset user, then you can click on this link and install it on your machine. Since I am a Windows user, I have Windows 11, so I'll be clicking on this link to download the Visual Studio Code. Once you click, then the download will be started here. It takes almost 21-22 minutes depending on the bandwidth of your internet. So my internet is quite slow today because there is a Windows update going on in the background, so it is taking a lot of time to download almost 110 MB file. If your internet is speed, then it will get downloaded sooner. So now it's reduced to 5 minutes, 4 minutes. Let's wait till that executable file to be downloaded in the local machine. Then we'll begin with the installation. Now it is almost came to end. It will be downloaded in another 10-15 seconds. Okay, so now VS Code is downloaded in our local machine. Let's go to the folder, download folder. To install this VS Code, it's again simple. Just double click on the executable file and you will get this pop-up. Accept the agreement and click on the next. If you look at carefully, so your VS Code will be going to install on this path: users, username, app data, local, and programs. Under the program, there will be one more folder created with Microsoft VS Code. Just click on next here. Do you want to create a subfolder on the start menu? If you want, you can leave it. If you don't want, just check this box. It will not show you here on the Windows menu. I have checked that checkbox because I don't want it. So I'll be clicking on next now. So you want any icon to be shown on your desktop? If yes, you can mark this checkbox. Otherwise, leave it as it is. And all the settings you leave it just by default. Just click on the next button and hit on the install. So it will start installing the VS Code on your machine. So as you can see, now the installation has started. It will hardly take 1 minute of time to install. Now installation has almost completed. Now it extracted. Now it is completed, the installation successfully. So once completed, just click on the finish. For the first time, it will automatically launch the VS Code. and you will see the interface of the VS Code will be looks like this when you open the VS Code for the first time. Okay, since this has launched by default post installation, I will be closing this for now, and I will show you how to launch the VS Code IDE from the next time onwards. So for that, what you have to do, you have to come down to your desktop, and you might have remembered that while installation there has a checkbox, create a shortcut icon on the desktop. If you have checked that checkbox, the shortcut will be created on the desktop. From this shortcut you can open the VS Code IDE, and once it is open, you have to go to the file and then open folder and select the folder wherever your project is located in. So assume that I have this project which I have created on the desktop itself. I'll be selecting this. So your project will be opening here. So since I have just created the empty folder, so you will not seeing any of the files within it. But this is how you can open the VS Code IDE from next time onwards. There will be another method. For that, what you have to do, you just open the command prompt, click on the Windows icon and type here the command. The command prompt will be opened. So once it is opened, just go to your desktop, cd desktop, and from that desktop you have project created there. In my case, it's a demo playwright, cd demo playwright. So from here, what I will do, just I will type code space dot. So automatically the VS Code will be opened and within your project. So as see, we have directly opened the project here. I did not go to this file and selected the folder and then open the project, as because I have already opened my VS Code from navigating to this particular project path. So instead of that, there is one more famous method to open the VS Code. That is, just go to your project directory and on this toolbar type the CMD so that you will directly navigate it to your project path. You need not to do CD, go to desktop and then again CD, go to your project folder name, demo, playwright, like this. It will directly open and navigate it to your project path. From here, simply type again code space dot. So it will be opened in your project path itself. So this is very famous, and in a real-time project everybody does the same. This is a shortcut method to directly open your project into the VS Code. Okay, so far we have discussed and seen what is the minimum requirement of Playwright and what is the minimum requirement of Python needs to be installed, and how we can verify whether the Python is already installed on our machine or not. If not, then we have also seen that how to download, where to download, and how to install, and also we have verified post installation whether it is properly installed it or not. And we have discussed about the pip. Also we have seen what is pip and what exactly pip will do, and we have downloaded the Visual Studio Code and we have already installed on our local machine as well. Now it's time to install the plugins so that we can begin with creating the environments, and post which we will see how to create the virtual environment and why it is so important. And also we'll try to execute a sample code by taking from the Playwright official website and see whether our Playwright is executing properly or not.